Hey guys, this is Prac with iRepairMD, and today we got in a Mavic drone that has suffered a crash, and the owner have stated that the gimbal, it gets a video feed but is no longer stabilized. The gimbal motor does not work. So what we're gonna do today in this video is we're gonna replace the gimbal flex on a Mavic. So stay tuned. Okay, so for this repair, what we're gonna need is a new gimbal flex. This is our premium gimbal flex. DJI does not make their gimbal flex. However, what you have here is the actual gimbal flex from the assembly line that I was able to obtain from the back channel. If you were to buy any other gimbal flex, it probably will not work. So to assure that you have the right one, just get it from my site. The link is below, and you can purchase this gimbal flex for the Mavic Pro. What you're gonna need is a number 3 Phillip head and a T6 torque screwdriver. And this is the tool that I'll be using. I'll be using my multi-head screwdriver. We're using a plunger tool. Okay, so let's go ahead and begin this repair. All right, so first thing we always do is take the battery out. Okay, so what we need is access to only the top plate for the gimbal. Okay, so there are how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 top T6 screw. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 on the bottom, and then 1, 2 more underneath. So let's go ahead and use the T6 screwdriver on this. Okay. So let's go ahead and take that out. Put this in a good place. And again, we offer this service. The link is below on the website. If you have a Mavic or any other DJI drone that you have an issue with and you're not able to fix it, or you're too scared to, send it to us. We can definitely take care of you. The turnaround time, as we speak, is about 2.5 weeks before you get it back to you. The process that we have is well, you send it to us, and then what we'll do is we'll review it and give you an estimate. And once you agree with the estimate, you can we'll do the repair, do 2 test flights, and then we'll send the Mavic the drone back to you. Okay, let's go ahead. We have 2 more screws here. 1 more T6 screw to pull out. Okay, so now let's flip it over. We have these 2 here, these 2, and then once we remove the cap, there should be another 2. And then we should be able to remove the back shell of the drone and have access to the gimbal. All right. The Mavic is probably the best-selling model of drone for DJI because it's compact and it still has a high long range and high resolution video quality. Go ahead and pick up the lid like this. Now we have these torque screws here, 1, 2. Let's go ahead and pull that out. Okay. And then once you have that out, now it's just a matter of pulling the snaps. And I always like to start from the back side, right here. Okay, slowly pull the snap. There you go. And then this clips on the front right here. Let's carefully lift it up. And now this should free the clip from the front, like that. Now you have access to the main part. Okay. So there are 4 screws, okay? 4 Phillips screws holding the gimbal assembly and its logic board to the drone. And then there is a connector, the power connector here that powers the drone. You have the flex cable underneath, and then you have the video feed. So the video is on a separate cable. And let's go ahead and use the Phillip now. Put the Phillip head in here. Let's go ahead and take the Phillip screws out. Phillip here, 1, 2, and then there's 2 more right here, 1, 2. All right, let's go ahead and this should drop the gimbal. I'm probably gonna use my tweezer tool here just to pull the screws off, should I need to. Some other screw. Okay, comes off. Now let's use the spludger tool. We want to remove these cables without damaging them. Okay, these are the ECS controller. This is the vision positioning system. Okay, now that drops. Let's go ahead and disable the power. There's a red and white cable here. Okay, now let's put the drone out of play. And what we have, zoom in for you. So what we have now is the gimbal. All right, so the gimbal itself, you have 3 cables, okay, coming from the gimbal. This is the main 3-axis logic board. It controls all the motors. This right here is the power cable. This is the video feed cable, and the bottom is the 3-axis motor cable. Okay, so let's go ahead, and the video cable still works, so carefully let's go ahead and remove the video cable. Okay, and these are like thin hair strand bundle up. These are high resolution video cables. Now you have the flex cable. This is the flat flex cable, what we will be replacing. Let's go ahead and lift that up. Okay, and so what we have now, we have this is the dampeners and the main assembly, and what's holding the dampeners and the main assembly on is there's 2 Phillips screws right here. Take that out, and then you can remove the actual assembly. We don't need to replace the dampeners on the main assembly, and we want to leave this logic board alone. So let's, with the Phillips screwdriver, we're gonna go ahead and take the screws out, and we'll free the 3-axis gimbal from the logic board and dampener base assembly. Okay, so now go ahead and carefully unscrew this. Okay, let's take the Phillips screw out. Okay, so now we have this loose. There's a slit right in the bottom where the bracket is. We want to run the flex cables through it. Okay, make sure when we put it back in, we run it through the same way, or else it's going to rip. Okay, now this is out of play for now. What we're going to do is pay attention to these. For this, we will need a Phillips screw. Go ahead and take the cover off. You can see this cover has been a little damaged, but that's okay. That is just a physical attribute, and it hasn't gone to a degree where it will disrupt the functionality of the gimbal. So the shell, okay, is taken out, and this is the video cable. Make sure you don't mix it. What we're trying to have access to are these flex connector here. So let's go ahead and do away. Carefully pull the flex connector off with a spudger tool. We'll use the pointy tip right here. Okay, there we go. That's pulled off. Let's work our way methodically to the next phase. And it's this cable right here. This is the cap that protects the video cable. Small. These screws are getting smaller and smaller. All right. So this is the video cable. What we're going to try to do is protect the video cable. Take the video cable out so we can do the actual flex cable. Once we do the flex cable, we'll run the video cable again. So let's go ahead and take some more shells off. This is one of the gasket or the cover for the video and ribbon cable. Let's go ahead with a Phillips screwdriver. Take these covers off. All right. My hand's a little dirty. It's a working man's hand, and then I was building a tree house and I damaged my thumb, but it's all right. I'm used to getting injured. Okay. Just undo it. You know, I guess my hand modeling days are over. After I do these small repairs, I keep poking myself with these tools because they're tiny. They're like needle threads. Okay, so now we have the the video cable. Let's go ahead and free it because we don't want to damage it. It's expensive. Let's go ahead, and we have another cover here. That's the base that runs it directly to the video. Okay. All right. Here we go. And that runs underneath. And let's go ahead and also take care of the second connector for the motor, 3-axis. All right, what you're gonna be dealing with are, these are black silicone gasket seal. What you have to do is carefully pry it without damaging the receiving connector. There we go. All right. Free that up. Okay, now let's go ahead, and what we're going to try to do is have access to the video cable. Okay. Let's pull that off. Okay, the video cable is underneath here. Just go ahead and take out the camera itself. These screws are pretty much all the same size, so as long as you keep them where you can find them. You can replace it. There's no particular order. There's 2 sets of a little longer one, but it doesn't really interfere with the depth. Okay, so this is the main camera here. This is the video cable. Okay, so we're gonna leave the video cable and the camera away. We're gonna put this over here. Okay, put out a play. And so what we will be doing is replacing this unit here. By the way, this is a paste. This is a heat sink paste. We're not gonna touch it. So let's go ahead and methodically work through the cables. It's very important that the fold of these cables is the way we take it out, or else it won't properly fit. So be very, very careful. Now we've got the new flex cable here. Let's go ahead and replace it. Okay. Just gonna carefully open it without ripping the actual flex. Now slide it around. So what we have, as you can see, is the top flex we're replacing it with. Okay, so once we have everything connected and this is ready to apply, let's go ahead and put the first cable in. The top half right here, and this is the top of the connector. And then we're gonna run this, okay? And then this is where we're gonna have the first fold. Okay, and this is the one that's going to the logic board. And what we have next, if you look here, you'll see that we need to actually bring this cable over, loop it. See this cable here? Once you fold it, you loop it, fold it down like this. Once you fold it down, and then you can actually fold this over like that. So you have this fold like this, like I have here. You gotta be an origami master to do this. All right, so now that's the fold that we have. Folding is very important in this case, okay? And now what we're gonna do is, see this cable right here, this second connector? We are gonna run this over, and the second connector will be connected onto here, okay? And again, we want this to rest here on top. We want this flex. This is exactly how the fold is supposed to be. Okay, so we got 1, 2. 1, 2 now, underneath. We have this piece right here. Okay. And again, you want these fold exactly the way I have it, or else it'll be in the way of the gimbal. So this way now, we want to go ahead and flip this over like this. So you have this loop right here. And with that, you're gonna go ahead and run the other connector through here. Okay. Expose the adhesive. Okay. Let's go ahead and pull the adhesive tape off. Okay. Now the third connector, make sure it's seated in. Should hear a little click. My spudger tool, I'm just going to run it, make sure it's properly seated. Yep, it is seated. So now all 3 connectors are in. Okay, so now that we have this, all 3 gimbal connected, you got the top, you got the second and the third all connected, and everything is origami in the right position like I have here. Let's go ahead and put the camera back on. So with the camera, let's go ahead and attach the camera back on, and you can see the way it is set up. You have the camera cable is running through this notch here. Let's go ahead and set the camera back in. Put the screws into place to hold the camera. Use the longer of the screws here to hold the camera into place. Okay. Flip it over on the other side. It's good to have these magnetic tip screws because these suckers are tiny. And I'm working on a white surface, else I will never find these screws if I drop it. Okay, so now let's go ahead and run the camera cable through the proper brackets, and let's go ahead and lock everything down. Put the covers on here, back in. All right. And now you have this second piece, which is the one down here. Let's go ahead and replace that over here. Okay, make sure the camera cable is in between this loop here. And let's go ahead and replace it. Close the cover back on. Okay. All right. So we have the cover and the first axis gimbal, the first motor taken care of. Now we're going to the second motor. All right, and so we're running, see with this little notch here? We're running the camera through that loop right here, and then it runs around up here, through here, and then let's go ahead and work on this main piece here and making sure that the camera cable is hugging around the outer wall. And then we'll put this piece right on. Okay. Piece right here, making sure, okay, that you have room. Okay, so the camera is going through here, the screws is here, nothing is next. Let's go ahead and put the screw to secure it. Securing it now. So let's go ahead and secure this one. Okay. And now you have the covers. Let's go ahead and get the loop in here, making sure all the cables are properly seated and rested underneath. Okay, so that is taken care of. Let's go ahead and secure this part. This is an unusual silver screw. They're usually black, but anyways, maybe the guy who's building this took a shortcut, but regardless, there we go. Let's loop the camera now, camera cable through this loop here. Okay. And then there's a small tiny piece here. I know what you're saying. This is a whole lot of folding and screwing, but this is a tiny camera. There we go. So we have 1, 2, 3 with 3 axes is done. Let's go ahead and put the final cover on. Run the camera through here. Okay. Put the final cover on. This is the one with the damaged cover, but again, it's just a crack. It doesn't I don't see it matters much with the functionality. It does protect the flex like it's supposed to. It's just a cosmetic thing at this point. Let's go ahead and put the screws in. All right, but he looks like he damaged this a lot. So we'll find out, see if this works. But I did test the video feed. The video feed does work. So once we put this together, if it has the video feed and the 3-axis gimbal works, then this drone will be good to go. Okay, so now we have the video cable, the 3-axis controller cable right here. Let's put the main logic board, the main camera board back in. And all right, so now we have to make sure it's facing the right direction, and this is the right direction. Forward should be like this, okay? So what we want to do is, don't forget to run this little notch right here. Don't forget to run the flex through it. Tip the flex is going to go right through that. Let me go ahead and put it in. Push it out. Carefully bring it up. Here we go. And now we have it all connected. Let's go ahead and put the screws back in. There's 2 Phillips. There's 2 holes here. Let's get the Phillips screws. Bolt this back on. All right. So let's go ahead and position it. Like the way I have it. Now the other piece. Bolt it on also. Okay. Everything is nice and secure. Gimbal flex is good. To mount, okay, so now basically what we want to do is we want to go ahead, and once we have everything taken out here, let's assemble, okay? Let's put the camera flex, let's put the gimbal flex in, seat it properly, like that, okay? And now we got the camera flex, or the camera cable, that's connected. Make sure it is properly seated. You'll feel a snap. Okay, here we go. So now we have this. All we have to do is run the power cable to this small slot here. Once that's in, we can go ahead and start screwing stuff in. Let's go ahead and put the Phillips screw back on for these. All right. So let's do the front one first. Once we get one screw in, we can start putting the rest on. I like to work diagonally. Here we go. On this side. Okay, so now we have to put the other Phillips on. Here's the final Phillips. Final Phillips screws here. Okay, now let's put the connectors back onto place. This is the visual positioning camera, or the obstacle avoidance camera right here, and then on this side, this is connected on to this board here. Okay, nice and seated. Now we have the ultrasonic, oh, this is the actual video feed cable, and the gimbal controller on the other side. Okay, now it's nice and seated. Let's go ahead and put the power cable in first. That is pushed out of the way. Let's go ahead and put the gimbal controller. All right, everything is nice and seated. Let's go ahead. Okay, in order, and check this out. All right, so on the Mavic, if you forget to put the GPS receiver into the slot, it won't take off. So make sure you put the GPS receiver into place, like here. Now let's go ahead and snap it back in. Snap it to the front first. Okay. Snap everything back into place. All these connectors are done. All right, so now that we know that the flex cable works, let's put the screws back on. We're going to be using the T6. We're going to start from the bottom this time and work our way to the top, to the back. It's got the bottom here. We're using the T6 screws. All right, so this is the big fat T6. Secure the bottom one first. Go. And now secure these. Two here. All right. Secure. Now we'll put the lid cover back on. Okay. One lid on this side. Now the snap on this side. Okay, and so the lid screws is a little smaller than the regular T6. It is a T6, but the thread, you see the thread, the difference? All right, so the thread difference, the smaller diameter screw with the T6 will be this lid, or else it won't fit. Okay, put the lid cover on. There's the other one here. Into place. Then we're gonna flip it over and do the rest. Again, I know this looks a little intimidating. If you don't think you can do it, just send us an email, ship us the drone. We'll fix it for you. There's a 3-month warranty of all our repair, and that's not including the crash. It's just mainly for the actual functionality of the repair. So if you crash your drone, you avoid the warranty that we give you, because we pre-fly this thing before we do anything. All right, so now we have a few more screws left. 2 more. All right. Okay, so now let's go ahead and test the camera. Make sure everything works. Power up the drone. Oops, should power controller first. So now let's look at the connecting feed. And that's a picture of my daughter. All right. So that's the video feed here. Ignore. Show the camera up and down. All right, so now let's look outside. Put the drone. All right, so you can see camera feet of the camera. Perfect. And here we go. 3-axis gimbal with me in view. So this is all we need to do now is basically test fly this outside and we'll be good to go. Okay, so now that we're outside, we can go ahead and test it. Let's go ahead and power up my drone. Power the connector. Connecting. Unlock my smart app. And let's go ahead and locate the floor. Okay. So that's the feed we're getting now. Don't show. All right, so that is the controller. Let's go ahead and initiate the recording. And waiting to get satellites. Got 7 satellite. Ready to go. All right, pulling up GPS. We got 8 GPS signal. Launch the drone. There we go. And now let's go ahead and test it out. Test my drone out here. That's my daughter. She did a drone feed too. All right, now let's test the camera. Looking down at her, giving her a win. There we go. Look up at Olivia. Look up. Look up at the drone. Say hi. All right. Okay. Now back at me. I'm gonna turn around to look at us. All right, that's me in the controller. Bringing back. Let's go ahead and take it to a test flight around the neighborhood. Test flight around the neighborhood. All right, now we're going to go to Avalon. We're gonna go high enough so we can see Avalon now.
I'm riding a 9-bot.
You're riding a 9-bot? And now we're gonna see Avalon. Okay, let's see if I can go to Avalon now. All right, here we go. Goes towards.
Turn the camera to look like you.
Yeah, no, I'm switching over to this view right here. So now we can go to my neighbor's house, and maybe everything is great. Camera's very stable, controlling every feature. This is the racket club we belong to. Now we go over to the pool area. And that's the pool. Flying over, one or two are swimming around. Very good. Some more tennis club. This is Henrico, Virginia. My base of operations, you can say. And well, they don't know exactly. I say Henrico. They're gonna try to find us from the town. All right, now we'll hit return to home feature. All right, let's go ahead and hit return to home. Should be flying back to where it took off. Here it goes. Testing all the feature. It's coming back home now. All right.
You know we live in Henrico and then see his neighborhood.
Just making a beeline back home. All right. Just coming back to the house. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and bring it back. Find a clearing.
Owie, that really
Lower a
hurt.
little bit. All right, here we go. Bringing the drone back around. Line it carefully. And if you guys want to follow my kids, they have their own YouTube. It's called Digital Life. This Digital Life. And they have quite an adventure with the
Olivia, don't want to
pets.
running. Watch out where you're going.
And you can see
The bunny's
Olivia.
gonna pop out of nowhere.
All right, and this is
Where'd
bring
she
it
go?
back
Is
to
she in
us.
there? Olivia, is she in the bushes?
All right, so basically this is how it works. Everything works fine. All right. Looks like a brand new drone. Audio is great. The video is great. No audio, of course, just a video. All right. But anyways, this is Prac with iRepairMD. Safe flying and safe repair.